We back here on Past Speaks. Came across a video from Fox Sports Radio, and it's from The Odd Couple with Kelvin Washington and Rob Parker. You know, I fuck with Rob Parker heavy. And the title caught my attention because I wanted to see what they were talking about on this subject. It says, Rob Parker, Steph Curry is disqualified from the greatest shooter of all time. I'm curious to see why Steph Curry is disqualified from the greatest shooter of all time. Now, if you've been following my page, you know that I think Michael Jordan is the greatest shooter of all time. Then Jerry West, and then whoever else comes after that. Well, I guess you can say Steph Curry after that, man. But there's been great shooters, forever. Some of my favorites are Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, of course, Steph Curry. Then you got Klay Thompson, that's a great shooter too. In his own right, that's played with Steph Curry. That's one of my personal favorites. And then, like I said, Michael Jordan, great shooter. You got Dale Curry, who's a great shooter. You got players like Chris Mullin, who are great shooters. Larry Bird was a great shooter. So there's all kind of great shooters. Those are just some that I can name off the top of my head right now. And Steph Curry for his career is 24.7 points a game, which is crazy. I thought that would be higher. But I guess, he didn't really catch his stride until about 2014 and then 15 when they finally went to the finals and won their first championship. But 24.7 points a game for Steph Curry, 4 rebounds and 6 assists. And that's pretty much what he's averaging this year. So his career numbers in regards to points, rebounds, and assists is what he's averaging this year, 2024-25. And, of course, 16 years with the Golden State Warriors, one of the only players of his caliber that has stayed with one team his entire career in this era. Pretty much, I think I can only think of Giannis Antetokounmpo and, of course, Nikola Jokic. But 16 years, one franchise, that's rare, especially for players these days. Now, in regards to Steph Curry, he's got the 2 MVPs, 15 and 16, one unanimous, led the league in scoring twice, led the league in steals one time, led the league in scoring and steals in 2015-16. And ever since the Warriors were struggling this year, but ever since they've gotten Jimmy Butler, they've gone on a nice little win streak. Now, in his last 5 games, he's negative 16, plus 11, plus 6, plus 15, and then negative 5. So I just wanted to point that out. Some games, even though they're winning, negative 16 isn't impactful. Negative 5 isn't impactful, but that's 2 out of 5 games, so whatever, man. But yeah, man, Steph Curry, and I don't know if they played today or last night because I've been busy. I haven't gotten to see the games, but Steph Curry is definitely one of the best shooters of all time. Now, the greatest shooter of all time, there's still an argument in regards to others. But the best 3-point shooter of all time, yeah, he's made a lot more 3-pointers than anybody that's ever played in NBA history. So I think it's safe to say that he's the best 3-point shooter of all time, man. But let's see what Kelvin Washington and Rob Parker are talking about in regards to Steph Curry, because I'm really curious to hear what the fuck Rob Parker is talking about, bro.
Steph Curry still shooting threes, still making threes. I don't know if they matter, but they still making them. Rob G, he just hit another milestone, didn't he?
That's right. The hits keep coming for Stephen Wardell Curry. Wardell Stephen Curry. Got it backwards. 4,000 career three-pointers made in the NBA. That, of course, is the highest mark in NBA.
This nigga name is Wardell. Like, that's his real name? What kind of shit? Where do you get Wardell from, man? I have a brother named Cordell. Where you get Wardell from? This nigga said he's still shooting threes. I don't know if they matter. Yeah, nigga. Shit, he don't won a championship. 4-time. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4-time champion. Won one in the 2020s. What was that? 2022. Yeah, man. Steph Curry, bro, still shooting threes, man. Rob Parker hating.
history because he's the only person who's ever hit 4,000. Just a couple more numbers for you, Rob. I know you're a numbers guy. Steph Curry, of course, all-time leader in three-pointers made. He has been now for over 3 years. Okay, he ranks 13th all-time in three-point percentage while taking, of course, exponentially more attempts per game than everybody ahead of him. He's led the league in three-pointers made 8 times. He's responsible for 26 of the NBA's 104 games with at least 10 three-pointers, as well as 5 of the league's 7 seasons with 300 three-pointers. In short, Steph Curry is that guy from downtown.
Just not the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah, Steph Curry's a great three-point shooter, man. But I don't know about greatest shooter of all time, man. And I'm pretty sure Rob Parker's about to bring out the fact that Steph Curry really isn't clutch like that, man. He's never really been tested. And I've never really seen him just in the clutch. I saw him one time where he hit that almost like mid-court shot, half-court shot against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That year that he won his second MVP. That's really the only game winner I've seen him hit, man. So that's the only thing that I can say about Steph Curry. Like, yeah, he's a great shooter and great three-point shooter, but can he really knock it down when you need him to the most? Like Michael Jordan. And the Warriors beat the New York Knicks. What was that? Saturday night? Yeah, they beat the New York Knicks Saturday night. That's their most recent game. They didn't play yesterday. 94-97. So that's the Warriors' most recent game. And Steph Curry ended the game with 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. And three-point shooting. Jeez Louise. He was 8 for 9. No, that's free throws. I'm sorry. 4 for 13 from three-pointer. So 4 for 13 and 8 for 20 from the field, man. So more than half of his shots were three-pointers, man. That's crazy, man.
And that's where we're going to put this. Because I'm still going to say.
I'm Janice Torres.
And I'm Austin.
Rob Parker don't fuck with Steph Curry at all, man. Steph Curry's one of the greatest ever, man. But I don't think he's the greatest shooter ever. Definitely one of the greatest shooters, but definitely, probably, more than likely, the greatest three-point shooter ever, man. I'm still taking Reggie Miller over Steph Curry, though. I'm sorry.
I'm still going to say I would take a lot of other players before I would take Steph Curry in a big moment. And this is what I'm saying, Kelvin, it's real simple. And we can open this up sooner than later because I really want to hear from people and for them to understand what I'm saying. I get you can make all the threes in the world. But when you call somebody the greatest shooter, it means under any circumstance, you would want him to have the ball when you need a basket. Do you agree with that or not?
Yes.
I definitely agree with that, man. And that's what I had just mentioned earlier. I knew Rob Parker was going to say that because I know his stance on Steph Curry. And I've done previous videos about this. But, yeah, man, if you can't knock down the jump shot or the three-pointer in the clutch where we need it the most, even if it's just, you know, the final few minutes and we need some big shots or even the last second shot, man. If you can't hit it when we need it the most, we can't really just call you the greatest shooter ever. Yeah, I mean, you can. But in regards to the weight of the shots that you make, you got to take that into account. And like I said, I haven't seen Steph Curry hit any clutch shots or just big shots. I guess you could say what he did in the Olympics. Well, yeah, but that's the Olympics, man. We're talking about the NBA, especially like the Western or the playoffs period, but mainly the Western Conference Finals and the finals, man. Just haven't seen it, man. And the times they did need big shots from him kind of came up short. But like I said, the only like true game winner, go ahead shot that I've seen Steph Curry hit, and like just think about it. great moments in regards to Steph Curry hitting big shots for big games and big stakes and stuff like that. You can't really think of a moment where, okay, I remember when Steph Curry, like when Kyrie Irving hit the motherfucking 3-pointer on Steph Curry, on him, the MVP year, unanimous MVP, to win the 2016 NBA championship. That's what I'm talking about. Steph Curry doesn't have shots like that, man. And the only one I can think of was in the regular season, like I said, against the the Oklahoma City Thunder, where he shot that motherfucker from damn near half court like a regular jump shot. Shit, you know what I mean? I've seen Dame Lillard hit more big shots than Steph Curry, honestly.
Yeah, that's what they all say is, well, one on one, or he can't get open, or what? No, he's had 14 looks.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had 14 looks with a chance to tie or win the game in the postseason, and he hasn't made one of them. No one's saying he's got to be 11 for 14 or some outrageous for you. Tell me this. If he had all the threes and he was 7 for 14 or whatever, then you could look at it and go, man, you remember those big shots he made when the game was on the line? And then if you want to bring up, and the biggest threes he made came in the Olympics, and they don't even count in the NBA. And only one of those shots was considered a clutch shot. Not by Rob Parker, but by the NBA. It's the NBA and their definition of a clutch shot. Down by 5 or less with 5 minutes to go or whatever. When he made those shots in the Olympics, they were up by 6. It gave them a 9-point lead. If you're up by 6, that's 3 baskets they need. Am I right? To beat you. That's not a clutch shot. And that's all I'm saying. I think he's disqualified from being considered the greatest. Is he the greatest three-point maker? Without question. I would be lying to him if I sat here and said he wasn't. He is. But the greatest shooter, there's a difference between the two. I really believe that. I would give Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, any of those people, the ball with the game on the line, then I would give it to Steph Curry.
All right, so I want to be very...
Facts, nigga. I'm taking damn near Ray Allen, definitely taking Michael Jordan, like I said earlier, Reggie Miller. I'm taking all 3 of them before Steph Curry in regards to, a big shot or a go-ahead bucket. Steph Curry is just not it. And I knew it was something like that. Now, Rob Parker said 14 attempts, and none of them he's made in regards to go-ahead buckets or buzzer beaters or something like that, or just clutch shots in general. 14 times that Steph Curry has had an opportunity to make the shot, and he's not made it once. And I just brought up the Olympics as well. Yeah, he did what he did in the Olympics, but like Rob Parker said, man, they were already up 6 when he made, that 3-pointer to put them up 9 points. It wasn't like they were down 3 or up 3, and he had to make that to get the comfort to he had to hit the dagger, or he had to get them, back in the game as far as making a 3 and then making another one to take the lead. It wasn't anything like that. And then again, like he said, it's the Olympics, bro. It wasn't the NBA, so it really doesn't matter, man. And at the end of the day, man, the Olympics is a collection of the best players in the world as far as from the U.S. Like, man, do that shit with the Warriors, man. Y'all, in the Olympics, man, honestly, the USA teams shouldn't even, be down or ever have a scare in regards to losing, man. They should be. I don't give a fuck how good other motherfuckers done got or have caught up in regards to their level of play and skill around the world. Man, the USA is still the best in the basketball, man. The only reason why it seems like foreign players are taking over or outshining USA basketball players is because this game today is catered to their style of play and how they play where they're from. That's the only reason why, bro. But not to get off track too much. But yeah, man, the Olympics, man, in my opinion, don't really count as far as your legacy in the NBA, man. Fuck all that. And like he said, 14 attempts at go-ahead buckets, game winners, buzzer beaters, or whatever clutch shots. And Steph Curry hasn't made any. And he's supposed to be considered the greatest shooter ever. I'm with Rob Parker on that, man. Greatest shooter ever, yes. One of the greatest, yes. But when we need you to make a big shot, or when it counts the most, can you make that shot? That's a true great shooter, man. And like I said, like he said, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, and definitely Michael Jordan, like I said, are three of the greatest shooters ever in regards to that. And like I said, Steph Curry, and I agree with Rob Parker as well. Is Steph Curry the best three-point shooter ever? Yeah, we'll give him that. Still in the clutch, you know what I'm saying, when we need it, we haven't seen him make a big three-pointer. You cannot think off the top of your head, especially in the playoffs or the Western Conference Finals or the finals, when they really needed a win or a big shot. You can't think of a shot that Steph Curry's hit like that, bro. We've seen Kevin Durant on the same team as Steph Curry make big shots. We know the shots that he hit on LeBron at the end of the 2 years in a row, hit the same shot on LeBron, that three-pointer to seal it. Same shot, man. 2 years in a row. Kevin Durant makes a shot on LeBron James to seal not only just the game, the series for them. We don't see shots like that from Steph Curry, man. So, I agree with Rob Parker.
clear on how I'm going to distinguish the conversation for me. If you're asking, is Steph Curry the greatest shooter of all time? Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time to me, bar none, including everybody. Big time, not even close for me. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of the basketball I have ever seen on earth.
Michael Jordan is the greatest shooter ever, man. I'm sorry, man. And then like I said, after Michael Jordan, I'm going with Jerry West. I'm sorry, bro. And then I'm down there going with Reggie Miller after that before I get Steph Curry, man.
Now, if you're asking me, clutch shot, 7-8 seconds or less, who do I want to take a shot? He's way down the list for me because that's not his game. Getting off a quick shot is not his game. Getting him the ball with 3 seconds or less and saying, go get us a bucket, that's not his game. Kevin Durant
why did he have 14 opportunities like that then?
If that's not his game, bro, and you sitting here saying that, bro, he can't be the best shooter ever, bro. If he can be a great shooter, yes, man, but not the best shooter ever. If you can't make it when it counts, and like Rob Parker's about to bring up, 14 attempts, and you haven't made any game winners, no go-ahead buckets, no buzzer beaters, no clutch shots like that in 14 tries, how can you be considered the greatest shooter ever if you can't make them when it counts? If we can't come to you and say, hey, we're going to give you the ball, let's go home. 14. 0 for 14, bro. So I feel Kelvin Washington, that's his opinion, but bro.
No, he got those opportunities because he is the greatest shooter, so he's going to be the best player.
Well, they thought he's the greatest shooter, okay, right? So that's why you would give the ball in that. If that's not him, and I'll give you the perfect example, you consider Barry Sanders the greatest running back?
Yes.
Okay, why did they take him out at the goal line? Because he had too many. Because they thought he had too many losses behind the line of scrimmage, and he didn't have any room to work. Barry Sanders wasn't in at the goal line. Barry Sanders
was idiotic.
Well, but he wasn't, and so my point is,
I get the idea. Oh, he goes backwards. No, that's idiotic.
Okay, but that's the way they played him. I'm just telling you.
They did. No, I saw it. You did too. I know, and they drove everybody crazy, as you know.
He came out the game.
Again. Steph Curry has made some of the most spectacular shots. He's the only person, if he shot it from the back, literally, if another team scored the basket and he just chucked the ball from there, from the end to end, we all would pause and go, wait, that might go in. Before I go get this chips and dip, hold on, wait, let me make. Okay, he missed it. He's the only person that ever made us do that. He's the only person who started shooting shots, Rob, and would run the other way.
I know two other people in history. I don't know everybody, but two other people in history that have had jump shots like that. But these were in college. Number one is J.J. Redick. Now, I don't fuck with J.J. Redick, and people don't fuck with J.J. Redick. But when he was in college, he was a motherfucker. J.J. Redick was the best player in college basketball each year he was in college at Duke. Yes, he was, bro. And his jump shot was pure and it was like, nigga, basically guaranteed to go in. So anytime JJ Redick got an open, clean look, you pretty much knew it was gonna go in, and you were surprised if it didn't. So that's what I know what Kelvin Washington is talking about. And the same with a guy named Chris Lofton I played with at the University of Tennessee. Every time, this man's jump shot was on point, man. One of the best one of the best scorers I've ever seen, one of the best scorers ever in SEC basketball history, and one of the best 3-point shooters that I've ever seen, and best 3-point shooters in SEC basketball history, and just one of the best shooters, period, man. One of the best basketball players, if not the best basketball player that I've seen play, actually, you know what I'm saying, in real life, in actuality. Chris Lofton, man. Anytime he let the ball go, that motherfucker was going in, man. And you were literally like, damn, he missed that? If he missed the shot, man. So there are players out there like that, and Steph Curry is definitely one of them in regards to when he lets that motherfucker go. But like Rob Parker said, man, when you really need him to make the shot, that's why we're giving him the ball, because we think he's the greatest shooter ever, but he comes up short every time, man. But I agree with Kelvin Washington on that. Steph Curry is that type of player that when he lets that ball go, there's always a chance of it going in, man. And like I said, 2 players I've known like that throughout my life are Chris Lofton and JJ Redick. JJ Redick was nice in college, man. If you ever get a chance, look up JJ Redick at Duke and his numbers, and if you can, some highlights, man. JJ Redick, he used to kill in college, bro. He was nice in college. When he got to the NBA, he wasn't shit, and I don't know how that happened, because I'm like, damn, JJ, you was just killing in college. How the fuck you come to the NBA? And I'm thinking he was gonna be straight. I know he ain't the most athletic or anything like that, and didn't have that like just nasty game about him, like, you know what I'm saying, like a Steve Francis, Allen Iverson, somebody like that. But I'm thinking that JJ Redick, your jumper is so nice that's gonna open up your game, man. He went to the NBA and wasn't shit, man. Crazy. Now he's a fucking coach, a trash coach for the trash ass Lakers, nigga.
Because it's going in. So I absolutely believe he's the best shooter.
I don't think you could be the greatest.
Throws,
you can't
threes.
be the greatest shooter if you're not clutch. That's where my argument is.
But let me throw this on at that. The reason why I like to distinguish, and I hear you, but the reason why I disagree is because people will do that with the best player of all time. They'll go, so-and-so is better than LeBron. And you go, why? Because if it was the last shot, who would you want to take? That is not how I'm defining the best player.
But that's
people do that all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
would you rather have Kobe or LeBron shoot the last shot?
But that's not. And if you're saying he's the greatest shooter, you've already identified a skill. He's the greatest shooter.
Yeah, I agree. Now you're identifying a skill. Yeah. But Kelvin Washington does have a point. When we do talk about greatest player, we always say, do I give him the ball in the final seconds of the game? In that case, you may need another player that can close or make shots, like a Jamal Murray for Nikola Jokic, or Kobe Bryant for a Shaq, or something like that. But see, that's the thing, man. That's why they're not the greatest players, man. I agree with Rob Parker. Well, I agree with the fact or the notion that, yeah, man, if we can't get you the ball in the final seconds of the game, or when it matters the most for you to do exactly what you've been doing the whole game, or when it doesn't, I mean, it always matters, but you know what I mean? Like, you can't be the greatest player ever, nigga. I don't give a fuck what Kelvin Washington is talking about. I understand what he's saying, but if you're a good player, a great player, you play great all game, your stats, you got 34 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. If you can't get us a bucket, and the game is, first of all, the game is still close, so what you're doing, really, I mean, it's great what you're doing, but the game shouldn't be that close, man. Like, we either don't